There are strong characters, there are scary characters, and then there are characters who walk into a scene and the entire anime bends around them. The animation gets sharper, the soundtrack shifts, every other character on screen suddenly looks like a background extra. There is a massive difference between being powerful and having pure, unadulterated aura. Power is when you can destroy a city. Aura is when you don't even have to raise your hand to make your enemies realize they were dead before the fight even started. Anybody can throw a punch, anybody can scream and power up, but true aura is when your mere presence turns the strongest sorcerers on the planet into victims. Jujutsu Kaisen isn't just a show about cursed energy, it's a masterclass in villainous disrespect. Today we are breaking down every single time a Jujutsu Kaisen villain didn't just win the fight, they won the scene. And we're starting with a man who didn't even need cursed energy to traumatize an entire generation. Let's get one thing straight. Toji Fushiguro is not a sorcerer. He is a glitch in the Matrix. In a world where cursed energy is everything, your rank, your value, your right to exist. Toji showed up with an empty tank and a bag of weapons and made the entire sorcerer hierarchy look like an absolute joke. Fast forward to the Shibuya incident. Dagon, a special grade disaster curse, has trapped Maki, Nanami, and Naobito inside his domain expansion. The heroes are losing. It's a death trap. Megumi barely opens a hole in the domain for them to escape, but instead of the heroes running out, someone walks in. Notice how the scene completely changes. The camera pans down to his feet. There is no epic villain theme music. There is no grand speech. Toji Fushiguro literally steps into a special grade's domain expansion like he's walking into a gas station at 2 a.m. His eyes are pitch black. He has zero thoughts, zero cursed energy, and zero respect for anyone in that room. Toji doesn't use a technique. He walks over to Maki, forcefully snatches Playful Cloud out of her hands, and proceeds to give a special grade curse the most disrespectful beatdown in anime history. But what makes Toji's aura legendary isn't just his physical strength, it's the casual nature of his violence. Think back to his fight with young Gojo, when Gojo is standing there, bleeding, infinity cracking. Toji looks at him like a math problem he already solved. No excitement, no worthy opponent speech, just cold professional certainty. He dismantled the strongest sorcerer of his generation, and he did it like he was clocking out of a shift. He treats the impossible like it's Tuesday. When Toji is in the room, every sorcerer forgets they are sorcerers. If Toji's aura is cold professionalism, Mahito's aura is something way worse. It's pure chaotic psychological warfare. Mahito is the embodiment of human hatred, but what makes his aura so undeniable is the genuine childlike joy he gets from tearing your hope apart. Let's talk about his peak in Shibuya. Yuji and Todo are jumping Mahito. It's a 2 versus 1, and for a second it looks like the heroes actually have the upper hand. But Mahito isn't just fighting them, he is learning from them. Every fight, every death, Mahito gets better. The moment that solidifies his aura forever is when he hits his Black Flash, and immediately after, unleashes the 0.2 second domain expansion. This isn't just a cool move. This is Mahito looking at Gojo Satoru's signature god tier flex and saying, yeah, I can do that too. The sheer disrespect to pull off a 0.2 second domain while fighting two absolute monsters, just to specifically target Todo's hand without triggering Sukuna's wrath. Look at his face when he does it. He's not angry, he's playing. The hands in his domain wrap around Todo, and Mahito forces one of the most confident characters in the verse to physically sever his own hand just to survive. He doesn't play by emotional rules. Sukuna has honor in his violence. Kenjaku has purpose. Mahito has nothing but curiosity and cruelty wearing the same smile. He broke Yuji Itadori's soul. He made the main character literally drop to his knees. That's a different kind of aura. The kind that doesn't make you feel small. It makes you feel absolutely unsafe. Speaking of feeling unsafe, we have to talk about Choso. Yes, I know, Choso isn't a villain by the end of the series, but before that switch, before the "you're my brother" revelation, Choso walked into a bathroom in Shibuya and turned it into a slaughterhouse. Here's the real aura moment nobody talks about. It's not just the choreography of the fight against Yuji, it's the reason behind it. Choso wasn't fighting for power, he wasn't fighting for Kenjaku's ideology. mythology. He was fighting because someone killed his brothers. Period. There is something terrifyingly raw about a character who fights with zero agenda beyond pure love and pure violence. Combined, every blood manipulation attack, every punch Choso threw had a suffocating amount of grief behind it. He hunted the main character like a Terminator, completely dead-eyed, driven by nothing but vengeance. Grief packed with that much cursed energy. That's an aura you simply cannot fake. Now, let's talk about the mastermind. Kenjaku's aura is completely different from the rest of the cast. He doesn't intimidate you with brute force or unhinged screaming. He just smiles, and that smile carries 1,000 years of planning behind it. His peak aura moment happens during the fight against Choso and Yuki Tsukumo. Yuki is a special grade sorcerer. She has a curse technique that literally adds virtual mass to her strikes, making her hit hard enough to break the concept of concepts. And how does Kenjaku treat this fight? Like a minor inconvenience on his daily to-do list. When Yuki punches him so hard his arms break and he goes flying, he doesn't panic. He heals, smiles, and drops an open barrier domain expansion. But the real disrespect, the climax of the fight, Yuki sacrifices literally everything to create a black hole, an attack that should logically destroy the entire planet, and Kenjaku just walks out of it, missing half his clothes but completely alive. He didn't just kill her, he corrected her math. When your enemy turns into a literal singularity to kill you, and you counter it by using the main character's mom's gravity technique, you aren't just a villain, you are the author of their suffering. He knows more than you, he's been here longer than you, and his smile means he already won 3 moves ago. Wait, Jogo? Yes, Jogo. People love to meme on Jogo because he took the 2 worst losses in the entire franchise. But if you take a step back and look at what Jogo actually did when he wasn't fighting the literal gods of the verse, his aura was terrifying. Let me remind you of his introduction. The family restaurant scene. Jogo walks into a normal diner filled with normal humans. Jogo doesn't even stand up. He doesn't yell. He simply points a finger. Instantly, the entire restaurant bursts into flames. People are melting at their tables. The glass is shattering, and Jogo is just sitting there, sipping his drink, continuing his conversation while the screams of dozens of people echo in the background. That casual, effortless destruction is the definition of menace. If he had fought anyone other than Gojo and Sukuna, Jogo would have been the final boss of any other anime. But you all knew who was waiting at the end of this list, the villain that redefined what aura means in modern anime. And then there is Ryomen Sukuna in the Shibuya incident. With Sukuna, it's not about moments, it's about presence. The second he opens his eyes, the show fundamentally changes. Other characters stop being themselves and start being reactions to him. First, the disrespect. 2 girls from Geto's crew try to negotiate with him. Sukuna doesn't negotiate. He looks at them and with a single phrase, forces their bodies to violently smash into the pavement. You lifted your heads too high. He didn't use a technique to hit them. He used his sheer presence to force the gravity of their own bodies against them. But if we are talking about unadulterated, scene-stealing aura, we have to talk about his fight with Jogo. Sukuna doesn't just fight him, he plays with his food. Jogo drops a maximum meteor on the city, an attack so massive it reshapes the landscape. And what does Sukuna do? He stands right in the impact zone, turns to the remaining sorcerers, and forbids them from moving until he gives the command. Kusakabe and Panda are frozen in absolute terror. They aren't afraid of the meteor. They are afraid of breaking Sukuna's rule. And then the climax. Sukuna doesn't finish Jogo with cleave or dismantle. He looks at a fire curse, pulls out his own fire arrow, and says, "Let's play." He beats Jogo using fire. Jogo's own element. Not because he needed to, because he wanted Jogo to understand that even in his own specialty, he was outclassed by a magnitude that words can't describe. That final moment, Jogo burning out in the white void, Sukuna standing untouched, isn't a fight scene, it's a funeral. Jujutsu Kaisen didn't just give us villains, they gave us forces of nature. From Toji's casual brutality to Sukuna's godly arrogance, these are the moments that broke the internet. But I know the anime community loves a debate. Did I miss a moment? Does someone else in anime have more aura than Shibuya Sukuna? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single one. Drop a like, subscribe if you want more pure hype content, and I'll see you in the next one.